whether you're taking care of kids, whether you have kids, maybe you're a grandparent, aunt, uncle, babysitter, whatever it is. That's such an important thing, is those that care for kids, right? Also, the elderly. I worked with Medicare for a while, and I know there's a lot of elderly people out there, and there's a lot of caregivers out there as one's parents and grandparents get up there in age. There's a lot of people that are caregivers that do a lot to take care of them, and so shout out to the caregivers out there. Also wanted to talk today about a roadmap. Now, um, some of you that are younger, you may not realize that there was a time. Of course, you probably remember when you were very young, I would think, but there was a time where we really didn't have GPSs, where they talk about roadmap, or the roadmap to success, or a road trip, any of these things. Back in the day, they didn't have GPSs, so you would literally pull out a map, a paper map, and usually if there's at least two people going on a trip, the one person would drive, the other person was kind of the navigator, pull out the map and give directions along the way of how to get to wherever you're going. And it's always important to decide, where am I going, right? Because if I'm here in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I'm planning on going to San Diego, if I start driving east towards New York, I'm going the wrong direction. Unless I go all the way around the world, which of course it's not possible in a car. If I was in a plane or a spaceship, that's possible. But if I'm going the wrong direction, at some point I'm going to realize that and have to go back. And then hopefully I haven't gone too far, because that's going to add to my trip if I'm going in the wrong direction. So it's important to decide, first of all, where am I going? What is the direction? What is my final destination? Where am I going, right? I want to talk a little bit about your business roadmap, uh, being successful with getting to where you want to go in your business. And as one tool for that, of course, LinkedIn. LinkedIn, I want to point out 6 steps that you can use for your LinkedIn success roadmap. And the first of those, and of course, why LinkedIn? Well, LinkedIn is the largest business networking group on the planet. There's over 1 billion people on LinkedIn, and about 48%, just under half of those, are on LinkedIn at least once a month. And so if you're sending a message to someone on LinkedIn, what you probably don't want to do is send a message to someone that hasn't been on there for 5 years, because 5 years ago they were looking for a job, right? So you want to first of all make sure it's someone, hopefully, that's on there at least once a month, if not every day, and at least once a week. And there's a good way to tell that. You can just go to the activity on LinkedIn and see that. But that's why LinkedIn is, there's a billion people, 480 million people on there at least once a month. And LinkedIn pretty much has your resume, your profile right there. And so you can pretty quickly tell within a matter of seconds, is this a potential client, a good potential client for my product or service, or not? And so the first thing is, if you have a business that you're promoting, LinkedIn is probably, for most businesses, it is a great tool to get the word out on your business in the business professional community. Now, there's 6 steps to aid link to LinkedIn success, as I would put it. Step 1 is to optimize your profile. It's kind of like my sister, a few years ago, my sister opened up a grocery store in Washington State. And, if I was driving by her grocery store and she didn't have any signage up front, she didn't have any signs letting me know it was a grocery store, and I lived in that community, or if I was even just driving by and I wanted some, if I was hungry, wanted some groceries or something, if I don't see clear signage, I'm just going to drive on by. If it just looks like a barn or a big office building or something, and I want groceries, I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to pass her grocery store. But she's been smart about it. Her and her husband have been smart about it. So they put up signs. One of the signs is the name of the store. So you can, and it literally says the words grocery outlet right there on the store. So if I'm driving by thinking about buying groceries and I see something that says grocery outlet, there's a high likelihood, unless I'm planning on going somewhere else, I'm probably going to go into that grocery store, right? And she also has signs out front every once in a while. Things like, if you want this, it's only $5 or it's half off today or something like that. So she's going to put signs up there to attract people to go to her grocery store. And so that's really what our LinkedIn profile is all about. It's your storefront. It's the signage out front of your LinkedIn experience, letting people know what you do and who you're wanting to connect with, and what you're all about. It's your opportunity to put up those signs to attract people to your store, so to speak. So that's the first step, is optimizing, creating, crafting that profile, so that when a great client, a potential customer, looks at your profile, they're going to want to learn more. Step two is to post content. Of course, similar to Facebook, you can have a picture, you can have a video, you can have LinkedIn is big on writing, so a lot of people like simply to tell a story, write your story, or basically you're telling a story in different sense. Writing a scenario where you're attracting your potential client. So your content, you can do a video, you can do a live video or a regular video. You can have a LinkedIn audio event, which is simply an audio podcast. It's very simple to do. You just plug in a microphone, and you may want to have a audio mixer so you can adjust the volume and things like that. Those can be very, very inexpensive, between $20 or $50 for a starter one. So you can pretty quickly create some amazing content on LinkedIn, and kind of watch what other people are doing, and kind of go off of that. Step three is making connections. Now, it's always preferable, if you meet someone, or someone that introduces you to someone else in person, you can always do that. Now, if your business though is, if your business is in one city, let's say one city in Utah, for example, you're probably going to want to connect with people just in that city. But let's say you have a business that you can actually work anywhere in the United States, or in some cases anywhere in the world. If you have some kind of an online offering or product or service, you're not necessarily restricted to your city or state. You may be able to find business anywhere in the world, depending on how your business is set up. So you can make connections that matter. And it's always good if you when you know someone and they know someone, it's always good to have a conversation with that person. As long as they're willing, they may be willing to refer you to somebody else. So that's always good to have that in-person connection, and have be referred out to somebody else. Now, you can also do that same thing if you're virtual. If someone's in another state, you don't necessarily have to drive or fly to that other state. You can ask someone to introduce you to the other person. So an introduction is always good. But you can also reach out to that other person, and you can say, hey, I know Bob or Sue. It looks like you're connected with them. How do you know Bob or Sue? Just have a conversation, just like you normally, just a normal conversation, and being connected, and being introduced if possible, or at least connecting with someone, and find something common, find those common values, just like you would in a normal conversation with someone. Find commonality